Oh, holy crap. Bidets are freaking lifesavers. Holy crap. Okay, so that's how we'll do it. We'll get the turn choice. We keep getting the turn choice until it's valid, and then now we have two things, depending on the choice. And in there, where do we want to do the checks to see when the death has happened? Like if the player attacks the monster, we have to check if the monster's dead. If the monster's dead right then, you can't attack back, and we continue to the next round of the loop, and we level up first. How do we do that? Do we have a continue, or do we have? I don't want to call level up so many separate times. Don't we? Isn't it better to just break out of the loop, or? Well, I guess we just have if statements, and we level up at the end, and we just have an if. If the monster's still alive, then it attacks us. And then there we check if we're dead. If we're dead, the game over. Or no, we just do the checks at the end. Yeah, like we attack. Because we're alive, so we attack. And then we say, hey, if the monster's alive, then it attacks. And then we check, are we still alive? If we're dead now, we just got killed, game over. But if we're alive, is the monster dead? Continue. Okay, so we'll say if user term, so we get the choice, and then if player attacked, okay. Oh, wait. Hold. Do I have to really do this? Oh, I guess it seems redundant. Do I want to keep checking it like this? So I could do this two ways. I could extract the input and then use the input to... Nah, that's fine. Fuck it. Excuse me. So much dust in here. If it is attack or... Wait, what? Jesus. What the fuck am I doing, bro? I'm just typing random shit. What in the fuck? Why is there a bracket there? A brace. Or user turn choice is also attack. Then, why? Who knows? Okay. Then we have the attack logic. And then we have, do we do else? I guess, right? If player fled. Fled? Yeah, I guess so, huh? Fled? Run? Or if player ran, I guess is what we call it. Ran? Sure. Cool. Make this look a little better. Okay. So that's the only other choice. There are only two valid choices, so if it's not this, then it's this. Okay, cool. So if the player attacked, what do we do? First, player attacks monster. Then, if monster is alive, monster attacks player. Then, check if player is, I guess, do we check if monster is dead first? Or I guess, yeah, we check if player is dead. If dead, game over. Okay, that's just an if. If it's false, then check if monster is dead. If monster is dead, level player up and continue game loop. Right? I think that's it. Don't know if I'm missing anything. I don't think so yet, but okay. If player ran, get 50-50 ran chance. If bool, do we say just a bool? Bool, sure. Oops. I guess we just get a random number and then we cast it to a bool. Right. Ran or like bool has ran or like success like bool like ran success. if successfully, or we'll just say if ran success, then continue game loop the next monster encounter. Else ran success is false, or we'll just say ran failed. Then monster attacks player. If player is dead, game over. And then, I'm missing one part here. Then, continue, let's see, because we failed. If ran success, we're good. And then this is separate. I'll just do an extra space between them. So there's this option, and then there's this option. If the ran failed, the monster attacks the player. If the player's dead, game over. Else, go to next turn for this encounter, and I need that up here too. If the monster is not dead, the next encounter. So if the player's dead, game over. If the monster's dead, level player up and continue game loop. If monster isn't dead, because we already know the player's not dead, because if it was, game over. We know the monster's not dead, because if he is, continue level up. But if the monster, or if dead, but if not dead, then continue this encounter's loop for next turn. And then at the end of each encounter, we check to see the level, or the loop will do it. And so this will continue while the level is less than the level cap. Where is this at? This is blue, so we're here. So this is if dead, game over, and pass in the player and the info. I'm not sure what the game over, what should the game over print? So we print the player. Okay. And so we'll have a game over function that we can just call. And that will, so I guess we call that to print the stuff, and then game over. I mean, we're not going to just abort the program, right? How do we do the game over? How should we do that? Do we just break and then... I mean, we could just keep this going and then check the level at the beginning and then break, or... I'm not sure how we want to do that yet. I think at the end we could do... I mean, we could just check to see if the player's alive here. I don't know. I'll find that out later. Okay, so now we need the turn choice. So this is the player's turn choice. This is the entire game loop, but this all needs to be within a loop as well for the actual encounter for this monster. Unless, would we just call a function and then pass in the player and the monster? And then do the encounter until the encounter gets the result, and it's all handled there, or do we handle it within the game loop? Feels like you could do it either way, either or. Okay. Nested loop's kind of ugly, but so I'll do this. And if we just do while true for now, just compile, make sure everything's cool. and then we break to continue this. So we either continue if for the next turn, or we game over, which will return the function, I guess. Or I guess game over is just a print thing, and then we return the code after. I think we have to have two separate things. Because a function can't be called to return for its caller function. Like I can't call a function from here that returns from main. I can abort, sure. I don't know if we want to abort. We don't. We don't want to abort the whole program. We want to see if we can continue. And so if anything, like at the end of the whole game loop, we should have a check to see if the player wants to continue, and then we do. So I might need to and it might need to change how this game loop happens. Okey-doke. So, the player will attack the monster. There's the choice. And then, if the player ran instead, we have stuff happening. Monster attacks the player. And so, to continue for the next encounter, will just be a continue. And so at the end of these, we'll need a continue. I mean, we don't really need one here, because this is already at the end. I mean, for symmetry, I could do this. Doesn't hurt. So the player attacks the monster. How does the player attack the monster? What is it called? Is it this monster or just monster? It's just monster. So we'll say monster. Let me look inside, see what functions we've got here. Or creature. We have reduce health by the player's damage. Okay. So we'll say monster reduce health by players get damage. Player attacks the monster. If monster get health is greater than 0, then, and we should probably have multiple things here, because we need to print some stuff. And so we can say, did this damage to the monster? Attacked. Monster get name. For player get damage. Okay. If the monster's health is greater than 0, then the monster needs to attack the player. We always attack. And so the monster will do player reduce health by monster get damage. And we'll say player attacked monster. And in this case we'll say, why is there space? Monster get name attacked player for, or we could say, instead of player, we'll say player get name. We'll say monster attacked player get name for monster get damage. Okay, monster attacked player for some amount of damage. Player attacked monster for some amount of damage. Cool. Okay. And so the player attacks the monster. If it's alive, Cool. If it's not, so this is, we don't need to check, well, if the monster's alive, the monster attacks the player. And so first, so we can handle these either way. So so this is the monster's dead now. How do I want to do this? So the player always attacks first because the turn's only going to start with an alive player. And when we die, we just break. Or we could do the check in the beginning and see if the player's dead. And do the check there and just continue. But if we continue, then we're going to get the turn choice again. So if the monster is alive after attacking, or I guess we should check to see if it's dead, right? If it's dead, we end early. I guess we'll do that. We'll handle like the edge case. It's like the base case in recursion. So if monster is dead, and so in this case we just say else. Why is this like this? Huh? Well, this is the whole if this. Oh, so there's no if yet. Oh, okay, that's why. Alright, so we'll say if monster get health is less than or equal to 0, then now the else is good. This is the monster is alive. So we attack. If the monster's dead, then should we just do these checks in the end? We have to do the check immediately, right? So we've attacked. Just trying to see how I want these checks to go. It would be cool if I could just put them all at the end. If the monster is dead, how do we want to actually continue this? If the monster's dead, then we break out of this. Or we level up and then break. If the monster's dead, I think that's what we do. And what does leveling up look like? So I levels up. Do I also want to print this? I think we already do. Do we have standard character output here? Does creature have it? Probably not. Okay, I'll include it here then. So we'll say we could say I could save them initially, or I could say this level and damage to this level and damage. So we'll say name leveled up from let's do it kind of retro-y. Leveled up. And so we'll say this damage leveled up. And then we'll say, do I want to increment it in this? I don't want to. So we'll say damage, damage. Oh, we need spacing. This to oh, actually we should say level. This should be level first. So we'll say print level and level. This 4. Do we say that, or do I say 2? I'll do 2. Seems better, maybe. This 2 and level, and then print like 4, 2, 5. I think it's just cleaner if we just have 2 separate variables. Fuck it, right? So we'll do int old level and level, int old damage and damage. Okay, and then we'll do increment and level, increment and damage, name, leveled up. And so we'll say leveled up. Next line, and we'll say level old level to new level, and line damage, all damage to, I need to type this out better, to level, damage, all damage to damage. Okay. Ethan leveled up. Level this to this. Damage this to this. Or really it should be leveled up from, we'll just say from oh, oops. Old level to new level, and then end the line. Damage this to this. Okay, cool. So If the monster is dead, then we call level up and continue, right? Player dot level up and continue. And do we break out of this loop? This is this encounter, and then we go to the next one. Okay. Monster dead, level up player, and go to next encounter. But if the monster is alive, then the monster attacks the player. And if the player's dead, is less than or equal to 0, then game over. I mean, do we set the game state? Is that how it should happen, actually? Because we could break. And then we say, like, is game over? I don't know. Alright, that's enough for now. I'll do more tomorrow. Sounds good. Okay, not enough, not as much as I want, but whatever, just gotta stay consistent.